All right, are you ready? Pinch hitting. So how early did you get here to camp, and how far along in your preparations are you?
キャンプ入りはいつ頃からと、今準備の段階としては
2月の頭ぐらいに入って、はい、ブルペンも今日で3回目ですよね。はい、いい強度で投げてるので順調だと思ってます。
Yeah, I came into camp beginning of February. This is my third bullpen with pretty good intensity.
And how excited are you for the WBC?
どのぐらいエキサイトしてますか？
前回もいい試合が多かったですし、野球界にとっては、大事な大会だと思うので、全力で楽しみにしてます。
Yeah, played really good games last tournament, and I expect that to happen again. So I'm really looking forward to it.
How different does the spring feel, not having had a surgery or an injury to recover from this year?
怪我とかリハビリなしで今回のオフシーズン過ごし方っていうのは新鮮？
そうですね。ようやく通常のオフシーズンを過ごすことができたので、はい。短かったのはね、いいことではあると思うので、はい。その短い間の中で十分に準備ができたのかなと思います。
I was finally able to have a normal off season, and although the off season was pretty short, I thought it was a good thing actually to have a shorter off season.
Why?
なんで短いオフシーズンがいいのか。
I wanted a longer off. We saw the MVP awards dinner in New York, where you gave your speech in English. Are you about to put Will out of work?
英語ね話してましたけども、ウィル通訳は無職になるんですかね。
いや必要ですね。誰かがね意地悪な質問とかしてくるので、それをうまく回避するために。
I still need him because there might be some bullies out there that might give me some weird questions that I'm sure he can handle.
Dylan?
So winning a Cy Young Award might be the only thing you haven't done. Is that a goal of yours?
まだやり遂げてないサイ・ヤング目標。
そうです。取れればもちろん素晴らしいと思いますし、その付近に行くということはそれだけイニングも投げているということだと思うので、健康で1年間回れれば、まずはそこが一番やるべきことかなと思ってます。
If the end result is getting a Cy Young, that's great. Getting a Cy Young means like just being able to throw more innings and pitch throughout the whole season. So if that's the end result, that's a good sign for me, and that's what I'm more focused on is just being healthy the whole year.
Shohei, what did you learn last year about playing so late into the season and doing both?
去年最後まで二刀流で
久々にまず、後半からでしたけどね、2つやることのリズムにまず慣れてきたというのと、2年前は DH だけでポストシーズン出てましたけど、やっぱり2つ出ながら短期の中で大事な試合をこなしていくっていうのは、それなりにやっぱり負担のかかることではあるなとは感じたので、すごいいい経験ができたのかなと思ってます。
I mean, really good experience overall. I did my two-way starting in, completely starting in like the second half of the season. But yeah, just being able, actually going deeper into the postseason as a two-way player did feel the effect of it.
Shohei, this is Zira. How are you planning to continue your ramp up as a pitcher while you're away from the WBC?
その投手に向けての準備、WBC に出る中、どういう調整で
WBC 期間中にどういう風に調整できるのかってちょっとわからないので、今のうちにまずは WBP もこなしたいですし、そのために今日のブルペンだったとは思っているので、また来週 WBP 投げれればいい状態で持っていけるのかなと思っています。
Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'll be able to, practice in the WBC setting. So I'm going to try to ramp up as much as I can to a point where I'm throwing a live BP, which should be next week. So that's at least the goal is to be able to ramp up to the point where I'm throwing live BPs.
Shohei, this is your first spring where you're coming in with the Dodgers as a fully healthy two-way player. What are your expectations for yourself this season?
さっきも言いましたけど、まずは健康で、どちらも投打1年間しっかりと回ることが重要だと思うので、それがチームにとっても自分にとってもすごく大事なことかなと思ってます。
Just being healthy the whole year as a pitcher and as a hitter, I think that's good for me, obviously, but also good for the team.
You said you felt the effects of the workload by the end of last year. What will you do differently this year because of what you learned?
去年、今年に、ポストシーズン でその体の調整、まあ、そういう二刀流何か去年のポストシーズンで得たことっていうのはありますか？
まあ、さっき言いました緊迫感のある試合の中でこう短期でこう連続して試合を回っていくっていうのは、まあ、みんなそうですよね。きつい部分はあると思うので、それはまあ、去年2年前ですかね DH で出ましたけど、まあ、それと去年のまた別の感覚ではあるので、まあ、また別の作業だったのかなと感じてます。
Yeah, I think playing the postseason as a DH only, which I did 2 years ago versus what I did last year, did feel different. So in that sense, like it's an experience that I'm plan to hold on to and you know, yeah.
Last one, guys.
Shohei, have you seen Unitaka Murakami around Camelback Ranch, and have you been able to give him any advice about his first major league season?
村上選手に会えたのかアドバイスなど、
まだ会ってないですね。はい。まあ何回かこうテキストでやり取りはしましたけど、実際にはまだ会えてないので、はい。まあどっかのまあ WBC も来ますし、はい。まあまたいろいろ話せれば嬉しいなと思ってます。
I haven't spoken to him in person. We've exchanged text messages with him, and I'm going to see him in the World Baseball Classic. So I'm pretty sure we'll get to chat a little bit more.
Thanks, all. Couple questions, Japanese.
I guess I am.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? The camera's ready.
Ready? Thank you.
All right, Brandon, how excited are you for this spring training, considering the roster you guys put together?
Yeah, a lot of stuff to look forward to. Obviously, feel really good about the team again coming into the year and putting ourselves in a good position to go out and compete for another World Series. So, the group of guys, it's a good vibe right now, and you know, full camp starting here soon. So, really excited about it.
What questions do you want to answer in the spring? What is left to be decided?
I mean, a lot of it is just continuing to make sure our guys stay in a good place health-wise. Obviously, started as early as we could and ended as late as we could, which was awesome. But you know, just making sure we're being smart with the build-up, and guys are ready to take on another long season, hopefully.
Do you believe in a World Series hangover? Is that a real thing?
I don't know. I mean, we did okay last year. I wouldn't say we played our best baseball all year, but I think a lot of it is like coming in, making sure our guys are focused, and you know, it's incumbent upon all of us to continue to mind the little things and making sure that the attention to detail is there, so that there is no you know, drop off in intensity.
Are there any guys you have to be a little bit more mindful of this spring? I know Dave kind of alluded to Brewstar moving up and pressing the same way that you guys originally anticipated this spring.
Yeah, I think just making sure as our starters are building up, you know, just making sure guys are you know, progressing well and coming out of each pen and live and game feeling in a good place, knowing that, you know, the camp is a little bit longer certainly compared to what we've had the last few years, so we have some more wiggle room to give a guy some time here and there if need be. So I think the benefit of the WBC, beyond some exciting games going on, will be a longer spring for us, and not starting so early, to have a little bit of wiggle room built in for guys getting ready.
Especially for like Yamamoto and all the WBC guys in general, like how much of a challenge does that add for you guys, just kind of managing their ramp ups to the year and kind of what their workloads look like, especially coming off a quick off season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it adds a wrinkle, but for Yama, he's, you know, a total pro and is prepared incredibly well. So we'll make sure we're getting him ready to as well as we can going up and leading up to that. Obviously, he's done it before, so just putting him in a good position, making sure he feels good along the way, and you know, he may be a tick more sped up to then go and compete, but using those outings as a build up towards the regular season are also like helpful.
Do you think like Ohtani with his pitching schedule will be able to get ramped up amid all that to kind of be ready to make starts from the start of the season?
I mean, I think a lot of it's going to be just having the conversation and what is available. The part of show is that there's nobody else that does what he does, so there's not a whole lot that we can say, oh, we'll plan on X, Y, or Z. It's just the conversation and what the resources are available, and also the nice thing is like whatever he is built up to is only beneficial. So we're not going to spend too much emphasis on the beginning of the season and just make sure that he's prepared for the long haul.
Dave has kind of talked about Sasaki needing to add like another pitch. Why do you think that's been such a challenge for him?
I don't know. I just think, he's fully capable of it. We've seen a lot of really good, like the sinker, the cutter that he's throwing. In the past, you have the fastball and split that are incredibly dominant. Last year, I don't think he was ever really in a great spot health-wise until the end of the year. All of the stuff that we've seen so far, he's looked really, really good. I mean, the bullpens have been exceptional. The pitch movements, he's throwing the cutter, sinker. He's having an expanded arsenal. But just if he's executing the fastball and split the way he's capable of with what he's done in the past, it's an amazing foundation, and then anything on top of that is just going to make things more challenging for the opposing hitters.
You mentioned not going in the WBC was a team decision. Kind of how did you guys arrive there? What were the conversations like with him?
Yeah, I think it's, just understanding what we're about to undertake again and making sure that all sides kind of understand each perspective is the most helpful thing. And look, the WBC is an amazing thing for the game of baseball. We're tasked with also focusing on the Dodgers. So, having those conversations to make sure that everybody's heard and placing the emphasis on what is going to be a long season and, hopefully rookie running from start to finish as a starter, that adds an additional workload component. So trying to be mindful of all those components, while not easy, is something that we have to do in a prudent way.
Does it seem like Rookie's kind of passed on the mechanical stuff he's working through last year, like where he's at the point where he can maybe hold that velocity as a starter a little bit easier?
I mean, certainly seems like it. I think it's mechanics. It's just healthy. Had a really good offseason of strength and flexibility and the whole thing. Just the total package of what was a strong offseason to come in, and then the early signs of the bullpens we've seen up to this point and since he's been out here have been really encouraging. So excited for him to undertake a full season. Also, I think we underappreciate the challenges of just anytime somebody comes over from the NPB to here, that there's so many non-baseball things to get adjusted to. It feels like now this is like we can just focus on the game, which should help slow things down and make it easier. It's similar to when rookies come up, but there's a lot of external factors. So really pumped to see Rookie out there today.
Brandon, you guys re-signed Kike Hernandez. Just kind of where is he at health-wise entering spring, and just kind of what's the timeline for his return this season? Yeah,
Kike's progressing well. Obviously he's in a place where should be starting swinging here pretty soon. We're going to be really mindful of how we progress into this and making sure that when he comes back, he's not only healthy, but healthy and ready to perform. So, kind of chunk it out week by week, but he's in a good place and really where he should be as far as the rehab schedule. So we'll see how those things play out.
What's Phillips' timetable?
Same thing. I mean, we're sometime probably mid-season. All depends on how the buildup goes and if there are any slowdowns or hiccups, depending on once he gets going into the mound progression and the full TJ stuff. But he's feeling really good. Throwing looks great. Body looks great. So I think it's just being mindful and viewing him almost as like a trade deadline acquisition in some way, shape, or form will be just kind of how we have it in our heads.
There's been I'm not sure if you've seen the comments from Bryce Harper, Manny Machado this morning praising your guys' spending over the offseason and your overall operations. What's your opinion of what you did over the offseason and your spending as you guys look towards that repeat?
I think, first of all, obviously, incredible support from ownership like we've always had to go out and, be in the position to address the needs that'll help us, go out and try to win another championship. So I think a lot of it is, looking at what's needed in the roster and what's available. And we've been in a fortunate position to be able to acquire guys that fit that really well. And obviously acquiring two really high-end talented to high-end guys with that type of talent on big contracts, yes, but I think there's competitive markets, and those guys being able to choose here, I think, speaks to the culture of what our coaching staff and players have developed as well.
Is it nice to hear people not complaining about it?
I don't really pay any attention to that at all.
It wasn't just Bryce Harper. I think Manny Machado also spoke really highly of you guys. When you've got star players on rival teams that are complimenting you guys, does that serve as any sort of validation for what you guys are doing?
No, I mean, we're not looking externally for the validation. Is winning championships and putting out as good a teams as we can each and every year. And all we're trying to do is get a little bit better each and every season, and with the goal of winning championships. Our coaching staff, our players, I think, view it as that, and good, bad, or indifferent. The external stuff is stuff that we can't worry about.
And Brandon, with all the focus on the top of the market signings like Tucker and Diaz, just how important was it to still get the Kike's and the deal with Muncy and Rojas back in that part of the lineup and roster?
Yeah, obviously those guys are huge parts of our team, and they contribute on the field. There's cultural components, leadership components to that, and I think we've talked about this a lot. It's the overall ecosystem and culture, being mindful of the clubhouse. And the guys that we bring in, making sure that we feel like they're going to be additive in all aspects. So we're incredibly mindful of that, and being able to bring those guys back, and for months extending him, speaks to that.
What did you see out of Gavin Stone and River yesterday?
Stoney was really encouraging in his live, really good. Fastball quality and the arm speed on the changeup was encouraging. Velocity was great, so that was a really nice building block for Stoney. River looks great physically. He's a house right now. Ball's coming out really well, and he has a deep arsenal right now that will continue to sit down and look how to, not pare it down, but really bucket it into V right and V left to help optimize a lot of different pitches. But both of those guys look great coming off of last year's rehabs.
Was River, was it his idea to bulk up, get stronger, or was that suggested to him during the downtime?
I think it's just some maturation of being able to actually get after it in a whole off season, and with all of our guys, we're in close contact with them throughout the off season. So it was a joint venture, and River put in a lot of hard work. So excited to see it pay off.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Nice to meet you, man.